Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. As you know, today's Wednesday, and last weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I went to the Elephant's Trunk Flea Market, and I was really good. You know, I said, I'm not going to buy a lot of stuff this time. I'm just going to pick up, you know, if I see something that really gets to me, I'll get it. But for the most part, I am full up. And I'm not going to buy any more tools to restore because I have a whole crate of them over there waiting to be restored. So we went to Elephant's Trunk. It was great. And you got to see what I picked up. 4 items. Let's go check it out.
Item number 1. I picked up this little giant, a 10-inch. I don't believe I have a 10-inch. I think I have a 12 and a 14. And obviously, look at this, is in really good shape. And when you're going to look at a wrench like this, now I see these all the time. I think I paid $5 for this one. But every time you see these, you have to look at a couple things. First, you got to look at the teeth, okay? If they're all banged up, and I mean, you can straighten some out, but if they're really bad, it's hard. So when you see the teeth in really good shape and it doesn't look abused, and this has the original orange in it, which you very rarely see. And because it's original, that means nothing to me. I'm going to take this wrench down. I'm going to do it up over. I'm going to put new orange in there, polish this up. It's going to look like a gem. I love these wrenches. And this one's in really good shape. Somebody took care of it. They didn't abuse it. I love to see that. And that's the first item. Okay, the second item. Look at this. These are a pair of Kreuter. And these are a pretty unusual pair because you don't usually see these too much. And I'll tell you why. First of all, these are in probably the best shape of any of the pliers that I come across. The edges are absolutely, you know, they're sharp, a little sharper than I like them, but that means they, you know, it hasn't been banged or hasn't been thrown in a toolbox. Look at the nice handle embellishments. On the back here, it has the screwdriver on the one side. Isn't that nice? And look at the shape it's in. And on the other side, it's got the little square punch that they used to use to punch and make a hole bigger or something if you had to. Again, with the embellishments, and the cutters are all, it's got the regular side cutter here, plus it's got the 2 edge cutters on the side here, which look like they haven't been used. The only thing is, you can see it's got some staining, some deep patina staining, so we're going to see how we could do that and maintain the finish. But isn't that a beautiful pair of Kreuters? I mean, and they were $5. So another nice deal on this. Let's get to the next item, which is going to blow your socks off. Okay, next up we have this really cool item. I know there's a lot of people out there that are knife people, that enjoy knives. Well, I am one of them, and check out this one, huh? This is a 1960 approximately Apollo Space Age survival knife. I haven't touched it yet as far as cleaning up or anything, but you could see here, I saw this and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And the guy says, yeah, you know, he's been to a lot of knife shows. He's never seen one before. They're not super, super rare, but they are expensive. I paid $25 for this. So, you know, that's a lot of money at a flea. But let me show you the cool things that it has. First of all, if you look over here, it has a thermometer, okay? In there, it's got some matches and some fishing line and things like that. It's got a little candle there. And here's a little level, a compass. I mean, this is pretty cool, huh? And let me show you how to get the blade out. To get the blade out, you unscrew this, and it unscrews. It won't fall off. It just unscrews to a point, and you push that down, and the blade pops out like that. And then you push that back, screw this down again, and now you have, it's a double blade. It's a sharp blade on this side, like a fling, and a saw on this side. So what do you think of that? That's pretty interesting, huh? You never seen one of these. And 1960 Apollo Space Age survival knife. I don't know. I just love that kind of stuff.
Okay, for our last item, if you're not sitting down, you might want to sit down. This blew me away, and I think you'll have the same effect. So be seated. You've been warned.
Okay, this was the last item I bought that day, and let me tell you something. I'm showing you after first. I don't usually do that. I like to show you before in the restoration process, but I don't want you to have any ideas. I want you to see it just the way I imagined it, and this is it. This is a obviously it's a Black & Decker utility electric tool kit. But what happened? I saw this at the flea market, and it had a $10 sticker on it, you know. And I said, "Wow, $10!" And look at this, you know. Look at the graphics on both sides. So I said, "Okay." I said, "You know what? I want it." I said, just for the graphics alone. So I went over to the guy. I said, I'll take that box over there. I gave him $10. He goes, I bought that for the graphics. And I said, oh, man. I said, you're like a brother in arms here. I said, so we started talking, and I was like, absolutely. How cool is that? Look at that. You don't see that kind of stuff anymore. But what's even better, I had no idea there was stuff inside. So, but I finished it up, and check this out. This is just unbelievable. Look at that. Is that unbelievable or what? Now, this again is the after. So I'll show you how we went through to get it to look like this. But this is just unbelievable. It's the utility tool, and it's got the accessories, and look at this. The wax, never been opened. Black & Decker. This is what I love. This is when Black & Decker made tools. Black & Decker is a shell of the company they used to be, now. But back in the day, they were the ones that made outstanding stuff. And so let me show you some of the cool things about this. And, I cleaned up the drill and everything. Everything's great. And let me show you what
Now, when I first opened up the box, everything was just thrown in there, and there's some things that didn't belong, so we started from there.
Here we are so far. You see the brushes, the armature, and this is the dirt that came out. Look at that, huh? That came out of here, the housing, because this was used as a sander, I guess, and you know how it sucks in some dirt and whatnot. But we got the gearbox apart. We're going to clean everything and put it back together, hopefully. Okay, everything's cleaned out. All the dirt and every grime, everything is re-lubricated. Now we're going to just re-grease this, and here are the bearings. Bearings look in really good shape. Going to re-grease everything, put it back together while I can still remember how it goes, and hopefully... Okay, now we're going to start working on the case. We have polishing compound. Now they make rubbing compound, polishing compound, and clear coat compound. Rubbing compound has the most abrasive grit. Polishing compound is about a medium grit, and clear coat compound has a very fine grit for clear coat. And compound is nothing more than a polish. And it looks like this. And what you do is you take a damp rag like this, and you apply a little bit in circles, and you get rid of a lot of the scratches, and it smells wonderful. Okay, we just finished doing the polishing compound. Looks nice. We got a little sheen out of it. Now we're going to protect it. Now, this is an old wax they used to sell. It's called Color Magic. And what it was a slight polish, but it had a color mixed in so it would fill up any scratches and stuff. And this was for gray. Now, I must have picked this up at a flea market or something, but I never had any gray vehicles to use it in. But now this is a perfect color match for this. Now, let me show you some really cool things about this box. Now, if you look here, you see these are knockouts. You see here and here. Those are knockouts. So if you were a dealer, you could knock them out, and you could hang this on the wall as a display. It would sell itself. Also, there was a card that came with it, and if you were going to use it as a display, you would put this card right here, and that would show, the accessories, things like that went in there. Look at this. Look how nice that is, and... vintage and all the things that came with the drill, or you could do with it. Some more information that came with it was the chuck. This chuck came into this little envelope, and it's on other languages here. And on this one here, it shows you how to operate the chuck, which I never knew, and I'll show you. And here's another cool thing that came with it. And this shows you, if you were like a dealer, how you would set up the case. Now, I had no idea. In fact, this was missing. The clamps were missing here. I had to make this little drill holder. So, all that was missing. But I mean, this is great. It shows you exactly how to put everything. Okay, I'm going to show you how the drill operates now that we got it all cleaned up and oiled up and greased up and everything. But before I do, these are the clamps that I made that hold the drill on here. That's made from some mild steel. And then I made this little drill holder that you can actually just lift off here. It's got two little tabs on the back, and you can lift up, and I just put some drills in here, some drills that look like it was on the picture, and the little hex key for the chuck. I'll show you how that works. Okay, I plugged the drill in, everything's good. Now look at the graphics on the top of this drill. How awesome is that? And okay, so now when I first got it, it came with the rubber pad was on here, so I unscrewed to put the chuck on. Now, how this chuck works, I never saw one of these chucks before. It is a Jacobs chuck, and you can see here, if you see the writing on there, and the type of chuck it is. But it's got this little screw here, and it's got a hex on this side, so I never knew how this worked. It feels like almost like a regular hands for a keyless chuck, but what you do is you place your drill bit into here, and when you put it in, let me just open it up a little bit. When you put it in, it'll go in here like this, and then you tighten it down like this until it's fairly tight like this. Then if you notice, there's a nut here, and I'll show you now, close. That little hex nut here has a little dimple there, and there's a little mark here. That's the way that is supposed to be at rest when you put the drill bit into the chuck. Then what you do is you just put the drill chuck key into here, and you give it it's about a quarter turn, and it stops. And that is like a cam action, and that locks the bit in there. Now, it's solid. You can't unscrew this, and you can't take the bit out. And here's what it sounds like after we did everything. Nice and smooth, nice switch. So, and there's a little oil port back here. So everything has been oil greased, and the brush has been checked. They were good. I mean, it don't look like there's hardly any use on this thing, and it sounds beautiful. It was screaming when I first got it. That's why I had to take it all apart. Whoever was using it probably used it for sanding, and the dust gets in everywhere. But what a nice little drill. So there we have our $10 score at the flea market, Black & Decker utility tool kit. And again, look at the graphics, and you can see the wax on there, the coatings of wax. But just beautiful, huh? Really enjoyed this one. So hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a nice day. Take care now. Bye-bye.